depend on the quality, reliability and safety of our products for their survival. BOC guarantees the quality of its medical gases by having the required marketing authorisation from the MHRA. This marketing authorisation ensures that the gases we supply are safe, efficacious and of the right quality to meet the prescribed specifications. In addition, we have a manufacturing licence which covers all of our filling sites to ensure that we operate to good manufacturing practice requirements defined in European law. The key to our high product quality is our batch management system. This enables identification and recording of all activities undertaken on every batch of cylinders being filled. It shows who does each step of the process, the results of all tests carried out, and a confirmation that every cylinder in the batch meets its specification. The most popular cylinder in our range is the integral valve cylinder, which has a built-in regulator, making it far more convenient and safer to use. The flow selector incorporated on these cylinders allows flow rates to be set precisely. The filling and test regimes for cylinders depends on the type of valve fitted, with the more complex integral valve cylinder requiring a correspondingly more intricate regime. We will now go on to explain the process to you by demonstrating how we fill and test these integral valve type of cylinders. A key enabler of the process of cylinder filling, testing and distribution is the fact that every cylinder contains a unique barcode. This barcode is linked to the individual cylinder and valve type. It also identifies the individual components of the cylinder package by the unique serial numbers on both the valve and the cylinder components. This provides full traceability of the medical gas and each of the components of the cylinder package throughout the batch management process. It also enables cylinder tracking of every cylinder through the supply chain direct to the customer site. This helps to ensure that customer holdings and invoices remain as accurate as possible. Typically, there are 20 cylinders in a filling batch. Each cylinder needs to be thoroughly inspected before it is filled to make sure it is in a suitable condition to be supplied to a customer. The filler carries out this inspection as he transfers the cylinders to the filling rig. The inspection includes making sure that the cylinder package is clean and undamaged, within its statutory test life and fitted with a legible product label. He removes the batch label on the cylinder fitted at the last filling sequence. This reveals the filling connection, which can be inspected prior to filling. He then uses oil-free compressed air to clear any particles from the filling connection. Cylinders are fitted with a residual pressure device to prevent them from being emptied completely in order to protect them from being contaminated. Part of the inspection involves the filler checking that there is a residual pressure in the cylinder. For any cylinder where the gauge appears to read 0, the filler does an additional flow check to make sure the cylinder is not empty. Any cylinder that fails this inspection is removed from the batch and the cause of the failure logged on the system, so that it can be repaired before being refilled. The filler uses his scanner to read his personal barcode to log on to the batch management system. He then reads the barcode on the filling manifold to identify the filling location. Next, he reads the barcode on the first cylinder in the batch, a CD-sized medical oxygen cylinder. The batch management system only allows the filler to proceed if the cylinder selected is a size approved for the filling rig. Finally, he scans the remaining 19 cylinders on the filling rig. The system checks that all the cylinders are of the same size and product as the first one scanned. If they are a different size, it will not allow them to be added to the batch. The filler now confirms on the scanner screen that all the cylinders have passed the pre-fill inspection. Before the cylinders are connected, the filler checks each connector to make sure it is clean and in good condition. This avoids any contamination. When all the cylinders are connected, the cylinder valves are opened. This allows any gas left in the cylinders to equalise out across the batch. With all the valves open, the filler can now start the automatic filling system by pressing the start button on the local panel and on the main control panel. The computerised filling system now takes over the filling controls. It opens the vent valve to allow the cylinders to be emptied of any residual gas. To purge the cylinders, the filling valve momentarily opens to allow a small amount of gas into the cylinders. This is then vented to make sure the cylinders are clean and ready for filling. The filling valve now opens and fills the batch of cylinders to the correct pressure. As the cylinders are filled, the gas naturally heats up. The filling pressure is dependent on the gas temperature. To ensure cylinders are filled to the correct pressure, the system uses a thermocouple to monitor the gas temperature. This is used to adjust the target filling pressure to ensure that the customer receives the correct amount of gas. When the target pressure is reached, the filling valve closes. The indicator lamp on the control panel tells the filler to close the cylinder valves. He then checks the gauges on the cylinders to make sure they have all been filled correctly. Before disconnecting the filling hoses, the filler vents the gas from the filling rig by pressing the button on the control panel. A light on the control panel will tell the filler when it is safe to remove the hoses. The cylinders are now ready for the batch quality control process. This ensures that the gas quality complies with the specification and the cylinders have been filled to the correct pressure. The filler connects the quality control hose to the test cylinder and opens the cylinder valve. The batch management system analyses a small sample of the gas to check it is within the specification. The system also measures the pressure and temperature of the gas in the cylinder and calculates what the pressure will be at 15 degrees centigrade, which is the reference temperature. Having automatically collected all of the quality control information, the system then sends a message to the scanner, telling the filler the results and confirming that the batch has passed the test. We now know that the medical oxygen in the cylinders is of the correct quality. The filler now has to check every cylinder valve in the batch to make sure it is working correctly and will deliver the correct flow rates to the patient. He does this by inserting a special testing device into each of the valve outlets. This checks for leaks and tests the gas flow at each setting to confirm there are no blockages and that the flow selector is working correctly. The filler then does a final check to make sure each gauge is registering full before confirming on his scanner that the batch of cylinders meets the license specifications. Having approved the batch, the system automatically prints out the correct number of batch labels and the filler applies these to each cylinder. The batch label details the unique batch number and the expiry date. The last step is to fit a tamper evidence seal over the hand wheel. This shows the customer that the cylinder has not been used. Now the batch is ready to be transferred to the full cylinder pallet. The site quality controller will make an inspection of the batch to ensure the cylinders are ready for dispatch to customers. Once the quality controller confirms the batch is okay, the system sends the batch report to the qualified person. Having inspected the batch record and confirmed that the batch meets the required specifications, the qualified person releases the cylinders for patient use. Now the cylinders are ready for distribution to customers. Cylinder tracking by BOC is an integral part of the cylinder quality management process. Cylinders are tracked by scanning individual barcodes throughout the supply chain and the filling process. On arrival at the customer site, cylinders are scanned by the driver and the customer signed for delivery on the handheld device. A delivery note is instantly printed for cylinders supplied. Cylinder tracking ensures full traceability of medical gas cylinder packages, improves invoicing accuracy, and ensures faster resolution of any queries that arise. Should any cylinder in the batch fail any of its checks at any stage of the process, the filler is required to identify it by using his scanner. He will scan the barcode on the rejected cylinder and then indicate on the drop-down list the reason for the rejection. This cylinder is then labelled as a reject and removed from the batch so that it can be repaired or serviced prior to refilling. All rejected cylinders are sent to a dedicated test shop where the valves and cylinders are repaired and serviced. On arrival at the test shop,